And Ukrainians are number 205 on the list. They have Cubans, they have Mexicans, they have the whole Latin America, who are much more numerous than Ukrainians. And there is a gazillion of different statuses, and some of them are legacy statuses, which people were given at various points of time. They don't exist anymore. And their instructions, who is entitled to what, are like a mile long. So when a Ukrainian person comes to a social service agency and talks to a social worker who's never before worked with a Ukrainian person, of course they wouldn't know what this person is entitled to. And they would look into this, they would work off some default scenario where they, and in many states, the default scenario is, unless you have a green card, you're not entitled to anything. And so they would just stamp denial on that basis, and then you would have to come back to them with, will have to find instructions, and they don't even use, like, you can't come to them with federal law because they're not lawyers. They don't work by federal law. They work by county instructions. You have to find an instruction from this county to its own social services agency. You have to print it out for them because they can't even find the instruction because they get a gazillion of these instructions every day about all kinds of issues. So you have to find the right instructions for them, print it out, highlight the paragraph which says Ukrainians paroled during this time are entitled to ABC. You have to give this to the social worker along with the immigration documents of this person and advocate that this person is entitled because this is your instruction and it says here that they're entitled. And so then they will look at it and they say, okay, yeah, maybe. Sometimes it doesn't work even like that. They just don't understand and you have to appeal and then the administrative judge says they're entitled. So it's just a knowledge issue. And also the other issue that kind of overlaid on that was that the rules were changing all the time. So this law that said Ukrainians have rights to the same services as refugees, it was only for a year because Congress allocates money by fiscal year. So for fiscal year 22 until September of 2023, they said, okay, people who come during this time period are entitled to the services because we've allocated the budget for it. Now, when that fiscal year ended, we couldn't get the budget passed for until April. I think the budget for the next fiscal year was passed only in April. It was a miracle that we avoided government shutdown. There was some temporary budgets passed in the interim, but none of them were, none of them included any refugee stuff. That it was just for Central American services. So when the final budget finally passed, it was in April of 2024. It again included aid for Ukrainians who came in the new fiscal year. But because of that gap between September and April, people kind of fell out of eligibility